That was a drop the mic moment, like, ooh, wow, that's 50 foot plus, you know, that's bigger than Mavericks.
You know, if you come to the spot, first thought would be, it's impossible to surf this place.
You know, a lot of people didn't even know, is that physically possible to be able to handle a wipeout from a wave that big?
For a ghost tree to really work, the swell has to be super west. And so I think we saw a handful of really big west swells in like 2005, 2006, 2007. In those cases, we had, you know, a couple really big swells, but we didn't have a lot of weather.
Actually, all day was in the 25 to 14 and then up to 17 second range for like 12 hours, which is a really big reading. We haven't seen one like that. It's going really west. So very impressive. Very impressive buoy readings.
For some weird reason, I have no idea. Like I was like around 11:30, I was like, I think I'm gonna go to Ghost Trees. So I ended up going down there by myself. No idea where to go. I got lost going there. So I tried jumping off those rocks, like off the backside. And I grabbed this kind of like tree and like trying to go down the cliff, and the thing broke and it fell and I crashed. And then just got washed like on the rocks, and then kind of like got blown out and just paddled out around it. So I started paddling over there. I saw Peter Davi. Went up, you know, asking Pete, like, where do I sit? Is it cool if I paddle out here? He's all, hell yeah. And he pulled this thing off. I thought it was a towboard, it was a paddleboard. Paddled me over and gave me like the best kind of introduction to the whole area. Told me it wasn't called Ghost Trees. He's so passionate about that. He's all, it's not called Ghost Trees. It's called Pescadero Point. Told me about how much the area meant to him, and like, he basically guided me into a wave. I got one wave and I was on my feet in the air. It felt like forever. I got bounced off, just got pounded, and then washed up, ran to my car, and that was the last I saw Pete.
Somehow, man, we lost one of our own out there. Pete Davi, longtime local surfer.
The fact that, you know, we lost one of our good friends, Davi, is like a...
You know, he was free surfing out there, paddling in and stuff, and actually surfed out at Pescadero Point before they even called it Ghost Trees. And from what I hear, he drowned out there.
I can't really get pissed about anything when the reality of it is we lost a friend, you know?
Oh, it's okay. You know, much love. Pete's gonna be missed. And yeah, my prayers are with the family, so.
During that time, there was a lot of confrontation that was happening between surfers. And NOAA, which is the federal administration that controls the marine sanctuaries, they took notice.
When NOAA created the MPWC regulation at Monterey, the rule was put together in the late 80s into the early 90s. The sanctuary was designated in September 1992. At that time, MPWC were only made for a maximum of 2 passengers.
In the original rule, stand-up jet skis, 2-seaters, all these other types of vessels were outlawed. And then the manufacturers started making a different boat that was outside of the regulations of their definition.
When a 3-seater came about, all of a sudden that took it out of that definition. So it gave us kind of a loophole to be able to use these boats.
So all this was taking place, and at the time, completely legal, because these craft were outside of the definition that NOAA had at the time.
You know, know, we were having so much fun. We were catching massive waves, we were having the time of our life. You know, maybe some purists saw us having way too much fun, catching way too many waves and having just a good old time, and decided, hey, look, let's throw a wrench in this and try to redefine what they say is or isn't allowed in this sanctuary.
Big waves in general, it was kind of like this frontier where you would be kind of going out to these places sort of to get away from everyone. So thinking of it like the mountains, if you could just climb some mountain, you're not going to find a whole lot of other people on the mountain until people start helicoptering onto it.
Tow surfing was starting to take off, and I think that people were looking into the future like, oh my gosh, what is this going to do? We have these machines that are going to be running around. All these places that they're doing it, it's just going to be taken over by these things, and I didn't want that either.
A lot of people got upset about how crowded it got, so then you got people that they, you know, organized and got jet skis banned.
What happened was NOAA put together a workshop. We worked on what needed to be done in order to control the situation.
For the sanctuary, when we look at these issues, it's about protection of the wildlife. To get to ghost trees, MPWC were launching at Monterey Harbor, going 11 miles around the Monterey Peninsula through 6 protected marine areas en route just to get there. And so in the end, we decided, no, ghost trees, not an appropriate place to have this activity taking place. On Mavericks, the group did very quickly decide, yeah, I think that we can make some accommodation because of Maverick's world-renowned reputation as the biggest wave that you can find in the continental United States. That regulation took effect in March 2009. So as a consequence, if we're looking at Mavericks per se, that meant that MPWC could only go out to Mavericks during the months of December, January, February, when a high surf warning was in effect. So that was the change.
Part of me was bummed, but part of me totally understands, you know? It's kind of like, those first couple years are epic, and all of a sudden the bandwagon comes along and it's just not so epic anymore. And then it forced us to go back to our paddle surfing, and we've always been great paddle surfers, but now with all the knowledge that we learned from tow surfing, we're like peaking in that as well too.
You know, at that time, paddle surfing had gone through the roof. And you know, even the best surfers in the world are like, hey, we've done it. We've experimented with equipment. We've figured out that we can ride these huge waves on short boards, and the boundaries of paddle surfing had yet to be really fully tested.
They're summiting Everest right now, I think, you know. I'm curious to see how much further they can push it.
And that was a turning point for me, like going, what? Like, we can do it bigger here.
They decided that's not the pinnacle of this, that's not what I'm interested in. I want to paddle those waves, and I want to paddle the waves that no one has paddled yet.
Hi everyone, I'm Michel Bourez. Welcome to the Red Bull Surfing YouTube channel. So this is the best place to get all the content from Red Bull, Airborne, All In, 21 Days, and No Contest. Click here to subscribe and click over here to see the latest Red Bull content.